what do we do before we go for a major operation? Oops. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's so nice to be back again. The last time we met was way back in April this year. For those who are new, joining my JJ Table Talk, I was really looking back the year of 2020 when I did my total knee replacement surgery. And now it's coming to July. It's like looking back at almost 1 year of what I did last time. Well, we had a roller coaster cycle and it will still continue. God knows when it will stop. Anyway, today I am so pleased, friends, that Putri Junita Johari has decided to be my guest for this session. And we will continue our sharing of experiences. And this one, I think most of you want to know. It is about what do we do before we go for a major operation? Oops, a lot of you will say, oh, is it just going to the operation? It's just that? Get the doctors and the nurses ready and I'm ready? No, my friends. Putri Junita is expert in this. She has been with me since I went through the whole experience. And today we're going to share what it takes before we enter a major surgery. Okay. Good morning, Putri Junita. Welcome to my session. How are you today?
Good morning. Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much for asking me to join your session. I'm very, very happy to join you today. Thanks.
Good. We're going to have a short chit chat, sharing with all our friends who are listening to my table talk, and they have gone through, listening to my experiences, the joy and the pain of going through TKR. So today, Junita, I'm going to call you Junita. Please share with us. But before we share that, can you just briefly tell me a little bit of your background? And I know you are a famous caregiver in Malaysia. So what is a caregiver?
Okay, thank you for asking me, because that's something that a lot of people ask me, what is a caregiver? What do you do? So I've been writing this weekly column in the New Straits Times called I Caregiver. And basically it talks about what a caregiver does and what a caregiver is really. So caregiver means taking care of someone, usually in circumstances of illness and usually after illness. What happens usually is when someone you love, it could be your spouse, it could be your siblings, it could be your good friend. When they're sick and they need to go to the hospital, they need help. And after that, it's really aftercare. That's when it all happens. The caregiver usually is in all of this from the beginning through the experience as well as the aftercare, because in an post hospital situation, it's usually the aftercare that ensures a person how well they recover from the procedure or the operation or the medical trauma that they've been through. It need not be a surgery. It could have been something like a stroke or accident or something that disables them because of health that is no longer as good as they knew it. So that's when the caregiver is there, and the caregiver is often the advocate for the person who's sick as well. Sometimes the person who's sick will not have a voice to say or to decide, but because you know them well and they have maybe given you instructions of what they want to do and how they want it done, you speak for them, you care for them.
Thank you. How long have you been a caregiver? I mean, you speak with so much of, enthusiasm, passion, and it's like it's part of you. So how long have you been a caregiver?
I've been doing this for a little bit more than 30 years.
Wow.
Yes. It started really with my son. It's not something I chose to do. I didn't even know the word caregiver, and I didn't even know the word existed until a few years before I started writing this column. And that's more than 12 years already. So basically, when my son was very, very sick and I had to be with him throughout, and he had a few major operations already. And then when he was well, there's always the recovery program and the rehabilitation program. And then when he got better, a few years after that, our parents became ill. And that's when it went into the next phase, you know, and in the family, um, they decided that I should go to the hospital because after more than 12 years of doctor speak, you know, knowing the doctor lingo, they voted that, okay, I go to all the doctor's appointments for my parents. And that's how we started the tag team. With the family, there's 7 of us. So I would go accompany our parents to the hospital to see the doctors. And my sisters and brothers would follow through with other care as well. And we used to do and share hospital duties. And we were there 24/7. So our parents were ill for more than 10 years. So that added on, that's another 20 years there, you know, in total of taking care, being in and out of hospitals until they think I'm one of the staff there, you know.
Yes, yes, I understand because your profound knowledge of the medical world is beyond an ordinary person. Okay. And I believe that a lot of people with families or with loved ones who are sick, they don't know actually what to do. And usually they rely basically on what the hospitals say to them. So based on your experiences and your observations, if someone, I mean, I was one of those last year and you were stayed with me throughout the whole experience, could you share with us what could be some of the major factors that we should consider even before going for any surgery or operation?
Well, first of all, with all the years that I've met up with the doctors, you know, for all the different situations, not just for my son and our parents, but also for some of my friends who had surgery, who had cancer, and we had relatives who went through difficult medical issues as well. A lot of the doctors say that surgery is always the last resort. It's not the first thing you choose. Surgery is never the first option. You know, you try and do other things first. You know, you look at the situation and see whether other treatments or rehabilitation programs, lifestyle changes can actually make you better. Um, and then if the situation does not work, they call it watchful healing, you know.
Okay.
So when you try that, and when you've tried all the alternatives and it still doesn't work, then at least you have surgery as an option. In certain instances, surgery has to be done, and that's usually an emergency surgery, or it's not something you can choose, you know, you just have to go for it. So that you have to know the difference. You have to know your illness well. You have to know, you really have to read as much as you can about it. And most importantly, you have to discuss it with your doctor. You can't believe everything you read on the internet, because sometimes they always give you the worst case scenario, and that can frighten you. That can really make you scared, because there's a lot of irresponsible reporting out there, you know, and there's a lot of people who write about things without getting the proper background and research for it. So you have to be careful that you have to strike a balance. What I'd like to say is that you have to know your situation, understand it. What you don't understand, you ask your doctor.
But what if sometimes you don't know what questions to ask? Because not everybody likes to read. You know, most of us, you know, we listen. You know, a lot of our people here in this country, especially, we listen more than read ourselves, and we get scared. So,
That's the reality of things,
yeah.
and I suppose that's when you need to find friends who can give you the courage and help you to kind of put you in the right direction. Because sometimes when there are certain friends that you have that are quite alarmist, you know, when it really doesn't help, and you really need to know that one as well, you know.
So you're saying that physically, emotionally, and maybe spiritually, to be prepared before you go for an operation?
Absolutely, absolutely. And also you need to be confident that whatever you're doing is the right decision that you're making, because the being positive about it, being confident about what your doctor can do for you, as well as your own ability to heal and to get better, that's part of the healing process as well.
So you're saying that mindset is must be right from the very beginning.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's say if you're going into surgery, go in calm. Don't scare yourself. Don't be scared. You've made that decision, then you've got to say, I can do this. Inshallah, everything will be well. Because the fear factor can actually be quite debilitating.
I know, because I delayed my decision. You know that I delayed my decision to have my operation on the knees for more than a year, until the pain was really, really, I can't describe in words. It was so painful, and based on discussions with the family, with my children, that I decided to make it happen last year. But I was still hesitant.
Yeah, but that's the important part.
Remember, before going for the operation, I wasn't sure that, yeah. So what would you advise on people like me, like I was in that condition?
Okay, for in such instances, you need to be convinced, you need to know it deep down that this is what needs to be done and you're ready for it. Nobody can push you into that decision. Even if, let's say, you decided that I can live with the pain, I'm going to take painkillers for the rest of my life, it's got to be your decision. Because if somebody else decided for you, then and you will have all these doubts, and you're not 100% in it. You've got to be confident that this is what you want to do.
Yes, I had several sessions with my doctor who finally convinced me, like, what quality of life do you want? Do you want to live with pain, or do you want to enjoy your life as you age and age gracefully? So that was a turnaround for me. I was so hesitant until he posed me this question. And then only I decided, well, it's been like a year, I postponed, why not? And I want to really enjoy my life instead of being in pain. So what advice you have for others who may not really go for such an operation, but maybe other sorts of operation?
Well, that's a tough one, because the quality of life issue is very real and very important. You want, how do you want to live the rest of your life? Going through what you're going through, and when you know that you've done everything that you can to find all the other alternatives. I'm not talking about alternative medication, yeah. I'm talking about things like lifestyle changes, dietary changes, exercising, and all that. When you've already looked at the options and you've actually done it, and it still doesn't work, and your doctor says that, hey, look, there's this surgery that can help you, then it's worthwhile to consider it. Because and the important thing as well is, when you're going for surgery, for whatever surgery it is, you want to know the doctor's record as well. For example, if you want to go for, let's say, a double knee replacement, which was what you did, you would like to know that he's done so many of it that it's a snap for him. You don't want to go to a doctor who's done maybe 3 surgeries a year. Then he's not had enough practice. That's why they call the medical profession and even the law profession practice, because really you have to keep working on it. And if your doctor has done a lot of such cases, then you know that he knows what he's doing. And when you see that his success rate and the recovery rates are good, then you can have more confidence in that. And I think that goes for any profession, really. When they've had the practice, they will give the results. They will have the results to show for it.
True. Okay. Yes, that was really good because, he convinced me finally to do the operation. But of course, that's not the only thing that I wanted to hear. I also had the opportunity with my own siblings and my own children. They were the ones who rallied behind me and said, go mom, and do it. You'll be happier after this. We don't like to see you in pain. And that kind of changed my mindset, and I was prepared. But of course, before going for the operation, I prayed a lot. I prayed to God for guidance. I prayed because I wasn't sure, and I did my istikhara, and finally I got the signals to go on with the operations. So, okay, Junita, if that is the pre-surgery, before actually going to the operation room, what else would you tell a few of us who are like not sure, even at that kind of last minute entry to the ops theater, we still have doubts? Do you experience any of that sort, or there are none?
Absolutely. I've had to go for surgery as well.
Yeah, I know.
And, you just, by that time, you're already on the trolley, being about to, trolleyed into the surgery room. You will have to tell yourself, number one, you've done all the prayers. You have to put your faith in God, and also pray that God will guide the hands of the surgeon and his team to bring you out of this well and healthy. And you talk to I spoke to my anesthesiologist and said, hey doc, take care of me in there, okay? And he says, no worries. And you got to go in upbeat, don't go in sad. You've got to go in there and says, I'm going to get better. This is a good thing I'm doing. The doctor knows what he's doing. I'm going to get better, and that's it. And put your faith in
Yes,
in the whole process. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Janita, because I recalled when I was being trolleyed in, the team there, they were so joyful, and the guy who was pushing my trolley then, he was singing and humming a happy tune, and everybody, and I say, it's okay, don't worry, we're here to make you feel safe, so just sleep.
Yes.
Junita, can you share some do's and don'ts?
Before surgery, there are a few do's and don'ts. What the surgeon or the surgical team will tell you is they will tell you no more meals, or you have to kneel by mouth or something like that. No more meals for about 12 hours before your surgery. So let's say if your surgery is at 9 o'clock the next morning, by 9 p.m. tonight, you will not be able to eat anything anymore or drink. And that's for medical purposes. They want to keep your stomach empty and for your safety reasons. But also what you don't want to do before going into surgery is you would like to actually remove all your nail polish if you're wearing any, because they will have to put the oxygen meter on it. So they would want to know what your oxygen level is like. And they would ask you if you have false teeth, to remove it. If you're wearing contact lenses, to remove it. And also, try not to have other things on, like false eyelashes. You'd want to remove all those things. You go in
No makeup, is it? No
makeup as well. Yeah, absolutely no makeup. Just go clean, as clean as you can. I was told that even hair extensions, the kind that you plant it in, is not encouraged. So if it is an elective surgery in that you have time to prepare for it, you would want to do like that. Be as natural as possible. But of course, if it's an emergency surgery, you go in as you are.
What about perfume?
Perfume is not encouraged, even talcum powder and things like that. Try not to, because, if you can, you'd want to shower before going into surgery, because you don't know when will be your next shower.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have stitches and all that, it will be a few days before you can actually take a shower. And if the surgery is going to be on any part of your body, they would want to shave you, even though you're quite hairless. They would still swab you, and they would still shave you, because that's the way they have been doing it for years.
Yeah, both of us, friends, both of us, Junita and myself, we have experienced this sort of thing. And our session today is just about pre-op, things to consider before going to the operation theater. Well, this is only today's session. So the next session, Junita will share with us again what happens, I think, after the operation. That is, I think more is going to be more discussion for that one.
Up.
So Junita, will you be happy again?
I
When you wake up,
yeah,
please be my guest. Yeah, be my guest again for the next session where you will be talking about post-surgery considerations. So friends, thank you again thank you very much, Junita, for having this short session with me this morning. And I want to say to all my friends who are watching this video, it's good to be blessed, but it's better, isn't it, to be the blessing. So the person who makes you feel contented to go into the operation is the blessing. Remember, life is very precious with its challenges and pain. So friends, it's not an easy journey. We should receive it all with gratitude. Thank you very much. Everybody stay safe and well. See you next time. Bye. Thank you, Junita. Bye-bye.
Bye.